Today, West Ham United released our brand new kit for the 2024-25 season. As you can probably tell, me wearing it now, it does look a bit retro, and the reason behind that is as it is a nod to the 1964-65 season where we won the Cup Winners' Cup after winning the FA Cup in 1964 after beating Preston 3-2 in that FA Cup final. The original design was worn by our greatest ever player, sorry Calvin Phillips, Bobby Moore, and it has been shown by the retro aspect of it, having the blue background to the badge with the actual claret irons instead of having the claret background with the yellow or even the claret background with the white that we have seen in some of these kits in recent years. There is also a change in the collar. It is more thick and it has a line going straight through it, also obviously being a nod to our 1964-65 kit. And it shows the change as this is one from 2022-23. It is definitely more thin, and you can see in the colours that this one looks more retro. The Premier League badge remains the same from last season after making the change from the circular badge at the end of the 2022-23 season. And as for our other side of the sleeve, we now have Intuit QuickBooks as our sleeve sponsor as of last year was JD Sports. But something I would say that I definitely would have liked to see change, and this has been like this for a while now, I've said this for a couple of years, is our actual sponsor, Betway. I don't really like it. I don't really like the gambling sponsors as a whole. If they're trying to promote players to stop gambling, like with Ivan Toney getting banned, Tonali getting banned, and Paqueta potentially getting banned, you can't really have these sort of betting sponsors labelled straight across the shirt. I don't really think it makes any sense. And honestly, there surely is a better sponsor that we can have. Also, on the front, a minor detail, the Umbro badge is actually filled in now. Before, it wasn't. I don't really know what this change is meant to mean, if it means anything at all. But yeah, Umbro is now filled in. Now moving to the back, the overlay is on your screen right now, and I've chosen to go with Jared Bowen, number 20. I hope he doesn't change his shirt number. I don't think he will. The main reason being, he is just a bit of a club legend. Scored in the final in Prague. He signed that 7-year contract up to 2030, and really, just love him. He is my favourite player, so it makes sense to have him on the back of my shirt. But in regards to any changes, they still use the Premier League font, and it is exactly the same. You now can't really get the other font that we would usually use in Europe, as obviously we're not in Europe, and it wouldn't really make sense to get it as you can't get the FA Cup or League Cup patch to go alongside it, as you would get the Premier League font with the Premier League badge. So, overall, what do I think about this kit? I do really like it. It is definitely a nod to the 1964-65 kit, and I really like how they've retrified a sort of modern day kit, even with the likes of Betway as your sponsor. They've still made it look really good. And I did like this in the 22-23 season, with our kit being a nod to the 92-93 season, with those stripes across the sleeves. I just think that looks really good, and they've done this well, especially with the collar this year. The only downsides that I would say would be the sponsors. The first of all being the sleeve sponsor, as I've already mentioned. I don't really think the green goes very well at all, and I don't really like it. I would have kept with JD if I had a choice. And also Betway, getting very boring and repetitive now. We've had it for a good few years. I don't really like it. I don't really think, as I say, it makes any sense having a betting sponsor on the front in the first place. Banning these players like Toney, Tonali, and potentially Paqueta. Banning them for betting when you've got Betway and other betting companies across the front of these Premier League shirts, don't really think makes any sense. But enough of that negativity. My overall rating is 8 out of 10. Hopefully it brings a season to remember, and hopefully we look back on it remembering our roots to when we won the FA Cup in 1964 and went on to win the Cup Winners' Cup in 1964-65. 1 year before, England won the World Cup in 66. A kit to remember, and hopefully a season to go along with it. I hope you did enjoy. Let me know what you think about the kit down in the comments below. Anything you would change. And until next time, go on you Irons.